Who are we going to be playing at?
Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the first ever LPGA eTour on WGT by Topgolf. I'm excited that we finally have some live golf for everyone. I'm happy that I'm joined by Jane Park and Tiff Joh, two LPGA superstars. And alongside me commentating, I have Golf Channel's Karen Stupples. Ladies, thank you all for joining us today. It should be Sunday of the first women's major of the year, the ANA Inspiration. We should be seeing a jump into Poppy's Pond. We might not see that. We might see a few jumps of golf balls into the ponds. I'm not going to smack talk too much on your WGT Golf yet because Lord knows mine is way, way worse. But today we are going to be doing a 9-hole match play event between the two of you on Pinehurst No. 2 golf course. There is a charity element as well. Karen, you have the lowdown on that.
I do. They're going to be playing for $100 per birdie, and that's going to be from Topgolf, and they're going to donate that to their chosen charity with an additional $1,000 going to the winner's charity. Now, Tiff, she's going to play for the First Tee of San Diego, and Jane is going to be playing for the Food Bank of Atlanta.
We're excited to get underway. Obviously, as I said, there has been no live golf for some time. These are unprecedented times due to the current pandemic. We're all on lockdown at home. Ladies, how have you been faring? Jane first, what have you been up to during the lockdown?
Lots of binge eating and binge watching Netflix. I feel like I'm running out of things to watch on Netflix, which is unfortunate, but we'll get through this. We'll get through this with this fun little game we're playing.
100%. You've both been practicing. Tiff, you've been practicing WGT as well as trying to keep your game sharp. What have you been doing golf-wise at home?
Golf-wise, not too much. I attempted to create a indoor putting green with my yoga mat, and it didn't work. It was running at about a 25 on the stim meter, so that didn't work out too well. But yeah, I mean, honestly, same here. I've just been binge watching a lot of the Great British Baking Show, and then binge eating as well. So really healthy habits being promoted over here.
Hey, the two go hand in hand. Watching baking, eating baking, it all makes sense.
Right.
Speaking of baking, Karen, I've got to touch on Jerry, your partner. He's been baking up a storm in the kitchen. For anyone that follows either Karen or Jerry on Twitter, you'll be knowing that each day out of the Stupples Foltz household, there has been marvelous things coming out.
We decided to call it the Falafels. We're the Falafels household.
Falafels, I love it.
Yeah, so he's been, we made some proper pies yesterday. So he made the pastry, I made the filling. It was pretty cool, but he's been really getting stuck in there. We've had a bit of a role reversal. I've been outside chopping down all kinds of stuff, and he's been in the kitchen, and it's been kind of fun actually to see a different side of him.
Now, Karen, usually you're walking the fairways on Golf Channel. Have you been doing this outside work because you're missing treading the fairways? You feel like you need to tread on some grass and be outside?
No, I don't miss the grass. I don't miss playing, but it's definitely been nice to be outside and to actually spend some time at home. It's been kind of refreshing for me. I've spent years and years traveling, playing golf around the world, and finally to be actually home and to actually do the stuff that I don't normally get to do, which is gardening. Boring, I know. That's me.
100%. I know a lot of people at home have been feeling that way. Live golf is moments away, but as well as having some live golf, we're obviously going to be getting to know Jane and Tiff a lot better. They're two of the best personalities on any tour worldwide. Don't let that go to your heads, ladies.
Too late.
But you're going to be getting to know them a lot better. So if you would like to comment, ask your questions, or generally just call them out on how bad their WGT game is, please do comment wherever you're watching, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, comment below. And on Twitter, use the hashtag LPGA on WGT. So are we ready to get underway? And who do we think, ladies, is going to come out on top here?
100% Tiff Joh.
She's been getting in my head for the last 24 hours. But Jane, I did notice you saw a little inspiration with your picture in the frame and your little display right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to channel 2019 Tiger at the Masters, being that it's almost Masters week. So yeah, shout out to my cousins in Chicago. They're watching and they're going to take shots for every bogey I make. But don't think I'll be making bogeys. I'll be making doubles and triples. So they might not be too drunk after this.
Stop trying to lull me into a false sense of security. That's messed up.
Okay.
Hey, doubles or triples means double or triple shots. They may not make the end of this broadcast.
Right.
Might not. They might not.
Cool. So Jane, did you get my invite? Oh yeah, you did.
There we go.
Oh gosh, I'm nervous because I'm getting first tee jitters.
No. First tee. I mean, I need to move Tiger out of the way a little bit.
Cramping your style, Jane.
Need a little space, Tiger. You're just taking up all this room. Okay. All right.
Well,
All right.
Loading. I picked this up out of the fridge. It's my.
Whoop ass. Oh my God.
I'm gonna open this up real quick.
Did you go to Costco and get a large 12-pack?
That's actually V8, and I think it's expired. But
I heard that they were having a sale on whoop ass cans.
that did not taste good. Let's see.
So the outfits as well is something while you're deciding exactly where to hit it that should be commented on, because that is just I don't even know how to describe it. It's colorful, shall we say.
Beautiful, impressive, sexy.
None of the above.
One of time.
Dated for Tiff, really, to be honest.
Now, for people who are amazing way to get underway there, Tiff. For people who are not familiar with WGT, perhaps you haven't played yet. The aim is to stop your meter on the stroke meter in the light blue section, right in the middle of that light blue section. Jane going with the traditional +4s, maroon and purple.
Okay.
All right.
First tee shots underway.
This is where it all goes to crap for me, though. The tee shots are actually pretty easy.
Yeah, I would say, Jane, I think you might agree with me that around the greens, it's probably the most difficult, I would say.
It is. It is very difficult. It's kind of hard to judge how far these chips are supposed to go. And the graphics are just so good. You kind of have to take into account that the greens at Pinehurst are definitely a bit harder. So you're going to have to kind of, ooh, Tiff, what a shot. Oh my gosh.
Do you
just start with the dagger.
Wow.
Do you like apples, Jane? How do you like them apples?
Apples. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I could.
Now, Jane, while you're focusing, we're going to try and take away too much from your concentration because you need to get inside Tiff there. But we have chosen Pinehurst number 2 for a special reason. Obviously, in 2014, it was where the US Women's Open was played, which marked the first time in history that both the men's and women's US Open was played on the same course in the same year. And Jane, you played in the US Women's Open right here on this golf course. So give us a little insight into how that week was and how special it was.
It was amazing. Obviously, Michelle won, and she's one of my friends, and it was just so great to watch her, compete and succeed and just come through so much adversity. I know she had some injuries, but yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing to watch, and the course was fantastic. It was amazing. Hopefully, we can go back there again one day.
Karen, did you work there that week?
I did not. I was actually in the studio at Pinehurst, but I went up there to take a view of everything that was going on. I think one of the huge things that the USGA did that week was how they set the course up. They took a lot of notes from when the men played, that what clubs they were playing into the green, and they consulted with caddies on both sides to get the right numbers so that the LPGA players were playing into the greens with the same clubs. And it was really interesting because I took notes of where all the hole locations were, and it was very comparable between the 2 days. And I thought that the USGA did a fantastic job when they set everything up.
100%. We have just got our first $100 for charity there. Woo-hoo. Tiff coming out strong. I think it was the can of whoop ass.
It was.
It really was. I feel it. Actually, I just checked the bottom of it. It expired in January 2019. So.
No wonder I couldn't get any because you're hoarding all of them.
I'm might need a medic soon. I just drank like 1.5-year old V8. So.
That's all right.
Oh man, it worked.
And just
Don't try it at home.
I was going to say, on a technical side of things, Tiff, I would like to just congratulate you on that first sort of $100 there. But you did, strategize well in terms of how you hit that strike bar that everybody's trying to hit.
I did.
Hit it just in front of it. You preempted it as opposed to being late on the draw.
It's all about the strike bar technique, if I may say so myself.
Have you guys been practicing your reaction times for that?
Actually, it was interesting. Jane and I played Royal St. George yesterday, and we put the wind setting to high. And you actually need to adjust like when you strike it, because I think if you strike it a little before it goes a little left. So you can almost use that strike bar delay to kind of shape the shots. I mean, I'm not a pro WGT golfer yet, but that's what I started doing, and it actually worked out pretty well.
He's been doing nothing but this for the last week.
You say you're not a pro. It sounds like it. You've got wind strategies and all sorts with the power bar. I mean,
oh yeah, she knows what
all about it. I took Jane on, and then I took Pete, her husband, on, and it was nice.
Whooped both our asses. It wasn't
so.
even
Jane has a secret weapon in the form of her husband, Pete Godfrey, who is a professional caddy out on the LPGA and is a WGT enthusiast. He's clocked up many, many hours of serious, intense practice. And he's been your secret weapon. He's been helping you out, hasn't he?
He has, but he's nowhere to be found right now, so I'm on my own.
He must have run to the bathroom really quick.
We thought he'd be caddying for you today.
No, he won't. He's completely out of the picture, so I'm definitely on my own.
Thanks, Pete.
Here we go. Oh, Tiff. Boom!
There's a little golf clap there in the distance, like that.
Man.
That's incredible. You were saying how you didn't, right before this call, you were saying that you didn't think you were going to hold any birdie putts today. That is one from downtown.
That is one from downtown. I'm very happy.
$200 raised so far.
So Henry, we've had a question in from Ken Hero 1. He really likes your commentating, and he thinks you're a great player as well. And he's interesting to hear your thoughts with regards to this game versus the real thing.
Oh, well, firstly, thank you, Ken. Very kind of you to say. Thank you for your question. I'm actually going to steal something that you said yesterday, Karen, actually, which was that at the moment, with us unable to play golf and watch live golf, we all know that it's such a community and a social sport. So I love this because it brings everyone together again. It's a good place for everyone to be able to feel like they're a part of golf happening on a Sunday. It feels almost a little bit of normality, but on our computer screens. And I think that's, one of the beautiful things of golf. And I'm happy that we can bring it all together here today. And it makes me feel useful again. I don't know about you, Stups, but it's nice to be able to put my golfing brain on.
I don't know about golfing brain, but I've actually finally got to dry my hair and straighten it a little bit, as opposed to just constantly putting it up into a ponytail.
I still went for the ponytail and the hat so I could tip my cap whenever I made birdies, but I forgot on the first hole.
But you're being serious there, though, Tiff. Like if you went to the fitness trailer and you got your thumbs all stretched out, and you did your routine ready for the game today.
Aerobics, and yeah, I did the whole thing. Foam rolled, stretched out, ate a carbo loaded for 2.5 weeks for this exact moment. So
I think everyone at home watching can totally relate to the carbo loading right now. I think that's what everybody's got in their cupboards. It's lots of carbs.
100%. I don't know about you ladies, but I have been eating at the weirdest times. I don't eat dinner anymore. It's bizarre. I just have evening snacks that are just plates made up of random bits of food put together.
100%. 100%. There are no rules in quarantine.
Yeah, I would say if I could actually plot out my eating schedule, it's like I have first breakfast and then second breakfast and then brunch and then first lunch, second lunch, first dinner, and then second dinner and then a midnight snack. So that's just a typical eating schedule right there.
I'm a fan of the midnight snack. I was just going to comment on this shot and say how difficult this was over the bunker, and now this is tough.
This is tough. She pulled out driver. Didn't really leave herself an angle. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. I will say shots from the bunker are typically very hard on this game. So
So that's not bad.
it's not bad.
It's not terrible.
If you're on the green, then that's actually a pretty good shot.
Jane was not on the green a lot of the time. That's why she's
It really is not.
What I'm seeing is impressive, though. Compared to what I've seen before, you've really stepped up your games today.
Yeah, we did a little bit of practicing. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, good putt, Tiff.
It's okay.
But wasn't good enough, was it?
Dang.
Here we go. All right.
Ouch, Jane. Ouch.
See if I can.
Going back to the food chat, I know that we're all big foodies here. What is some of your favorite stops on tour for food?
Tiff, you go ahead.
I would say, so I'm a big Mexican food person. I grew up in San Diego, so I always try to find out good Mexican restaurants. Honestly, my favorite place is in San Diego, the Fish Taco Shop. Yeah, 5 minutes south of where we play the Kia Classic. So that would be my favorite. Jane probably just loves herself some In-N-Out.
I do love In-N-Out, but I do. Tiff did take me to her taco joint, and there really isn't much better than that. Fish
To put it
tacos.
in perspective, Cotija Junior's is #1 on my speed dial, and my mom is #2. So.
Yep.
That shows just how crucial the tacos are.
Exactly.
Stops, what was some of your favorite stops on tour for food? I'm going to say mine was Memphis for the barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
Barbecue's always good. I kind of I have to go with the In-N-Out burgers because obviously living over on the East Coast, we don't get that over here. So In-N-Out burger was always the first stop of mine every time I landed on the West Coast. So that was pretty cool. But now Jerry has kind of perfected his burger technique as well. So I'm very lucky. I get a bit of everything here.
Jerry is killing it in the kitchen. I'm really impressed.
Can you send him up here for a little bit so we can have some?
It's like a whole new world.
Wow. Okay.
I love it. He's found his new calling, the man of the kitchen. Speaking of food, I'm going to segue here. Food to Masters food. Last year was my first time at the Masters. Obviously, it's Masters Week coming up. Steve Robertson on Facebook has asked, are we missing, all four of us, the Masters as much as he is? And I'd have to say 100% yes. From me watching it on the sofa, obviously. But as I said, last time, food-wise, was my first time there. The pimento cheese sandwiches are
they everything they say it is?
Yes, but the thing that I was not expecting, I went there hunting for pimento cheese. I found them. They were epic. The thing that caught me off guard was the peach ice cream sandwiches.
Ooh.
Unbelievable.
I would go as far as to say they're better than the pimento cheese if I had to choose.
Yeah. If you're a dessert gal, then those peach ice cream sandwiches are to die for.
I ate 5 just straight in a row. Not upset about it.
We're not
calories don't count at Augusta. I think I had 5 pimento cheese, 5 egg salad, and this is all within the first hour I was there. And I was there for about 8 hours. So
it has to be done. I understand you. But what are you all missing the most about the Masters?
Binge watching.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm totally that person that has I don't watch a ton of sports, but I will watch the Masters, and then I have my tablet, my laptop, my phone, and I just watch every single live stream all simultaneously. It's like I'm everywhere at the same time, and that's probably my favorite part.
I love it.
I'm with you, Tiff. That's exactly me.
Oh, did that just go in?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say the hole got in the way there.
yeah.
The speed was a smidge strong there, Jane.
Strong.
That was on its way to a D green.
But yes, binge watching on the couch. obviously, I mean, I've never been there for a tournament round, but I feel like it's a lot easier to enjoy it when you're watching it on your couch at home. So
For sure, for sure. It's one of those places. It really is. It feels like the start of the golf season, though, doesn't it?
it does. It does.
I've never been to Augusta National. I've only ever watched it on TV, and so I can't really say what the pimento cheese sandwiches are really truly like.
They're like heaven between two pieces of soft white bread.
Yeah.
Poetic.
Imagine the best pimento cheese spread you've ever had, and then put it between two slices of Wonder Bread.
Yes.
What actually is pimento cheese spread? What would that be?
It's I don't really know what kind of
It's just cheese with like
It's a
like
good question.
peppers chopped up in it, isn't it? At least that's the kind from like Trader Joe's.
Pimento peppers and cheese. I don't know what type of cheese it is.
I think it's cheddar. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's just so savory, and to have it with one of those Henny, those colorful, it's like a mixture drink with Powerade and I think Sprite.
Oh, I didn't try that.
Oh yeah, they have this, I forgot what they call it, but it's on the bottom it's 7-Up and then red Powerade and then blue Powerade or something.
Oh, that sounds like it would have me bouncing off the walls.
In between all the beer, you have to mix it up and hydrate,
It's important to stay hydrated.
So many
Just
health tips I'm learning from Jane today.
Just another nice comment coming from Ken Hero One. He said he wants some of Tiffany's happy endorphins. You put a smile on a stone. So there you go, Tiff.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I love
I'm
that.
also drinking had about 7 cups of coffee today, so that might be it.
It's
Just
true.
I'm just really excited about this, guys. I mean, I actually put on pants this morning. Maybe you wouldn't know, or did I? I don't know. But yeah, this has been the first time that I've actually felt like I've been doing something. So this is actually really exciting for me.
All right, changing the subject. How about for Tiff and for Jane? When you were playing the A&A Inspiration, and if you were there this week, would you have your jump into Poppy's Pond already picked out, and what would it be?
Great question.
Oh, Jane, you go first.
I would definitely, I would climb up on that bridge and I would just do a somersault head first into the pond. I think someone's done that before, right? I think someone's jumped off the bridge before.
I don't think I've seen a somersault.
That's different.
That would be athletic.
I think I would go for the belly flop. And not just because that's the only dive I really know how to do, but I feel like I would be really freaked out about potentially injuring myself. Was it Stacey Lewis's mom that one year who
Yeah.
injured her ankle or something?
Her ankle, yeah.
And I feel like the belly flop, the more horizontal you can get, I mean, sure, it'll sting at first when you hit the surface of the water, but I feel like serious injuries won't really happen that way, I'm guessing.
Well, Pernilla Lindbergh's husband, Dan,
Oh.
didn't he do the somersault thing into the...
I think he did like a full-on dive, like Olympic
Oh, that's right.
or something.
I was just waiting for him to resurface because I was wondering, did he break his neck?
I saw a picture of the pond emptied on Facebook or Twitter this morning from one of our rules officials, Donna Mamet, and she was standing at the very bottom of Poppy's Pond, and it was completely empty of water, and it was well above her head, so it's about 6 feet deep. Just in case curious minds were wondering.
Oh wow, that's good to know. I mean, Jane, when we went surfing at La Jolla Shores, that was about as deep as we ever got, so that's pretty comforting.
Right.
Jane at one point thought that she was drowning, and I told her to just stand up, and she was waist deep.
Speaking of surfing, let's go on to hobbies. I don't know if you don't follow Tiff on Instagram, you may not know this about her, but you are an absolute avid surfer. You find time to go surfing at tournaments sometimes, but tell us about how you got into it.
It's actually an interesting story. So I started surfing about 8 or 9 years ago, and I had actually just lost my card on tour, and I was heading back to Q school. And before I went back to Q school, or before I started even practicing, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of take a trip where I couldn't play golf. So I left my clubs at home and I went on one of those like surf, yoga, Nicaragua, find yourself, like eat, pray, love retreats. And that's actually where I picked it up. And now in retrospect, I look back on that and I'm actually really glad that I lost my card that year, because if I hadn't, then I never would have started surfing. And it's definitely one of the bigger passions in my life now.
What is it that you love so much about it? Because you're actually pretty solid. I was watching some videos. You were moving back and forth on the board. I mean, it was impressive.
It's actually surprisingly a lot like golf. You think about green reading, and it's a lot of matching line and speed, and that's pretty much all surfing is the you're matching the line that your surfboard is taking with like the speed that you're going. The only thing that's different is the surface is constantly changing. So if you can imagine putting on a green where the slopes are changing all the time and you almost have to predict what they're doing, that's kind of what it's like. So for me, I feel like it's actually a little bit more difficult than golf, but I've also been golfing for a lot longer than I've been surfing. But I took Jane when she was visiting me in San Diego once, and she stood up first day. So like I know I kind of make fun of Jane a lot for not being the most athletic person, but she's actually sneaky the most athletic person that I know.
Okay, that is not a true story. I stood up for 1.5 seconds and we were surfing for 4 hours.
She's totally exaggerating, especially because
No, I'm not exaggerating.
you carbo loaded like crazy the night before, and we were out for maybe 25 minutes before you said, let's go get brunch.
I just hit a home run from the bunker, if anyone.
I thought you were saying that she was exaggerating about standing up, that she stood up for longer, but you were saying she was exaggerating about the time on the water.
Right.
God.
Jane, you're really making a mess of this.
This is, yeah.
I was
proving how
good.
tough the bunkers are.
Yeah.
There we go. You redeemed yourself there.
Goodness,
If I
Jane.
miss the green, I just start sweating. My palms just start sweating because I know I'm not going to get it up and down in 5.
Well, this is
just a reminder, that Tiff, you are one up. So Jane, you got to kind of open up your own little can of whoop-ass. I know Tiff had the monopoly on it, but there's got to be something in your cupboard that you can pull out right now.
Oh man.
I know. Do you have like whoop cheese puffs or?
I have a bowl of pasta. Okay, can you just concede my putt because?
No.
Come on, Tiff.
Okay, you know what? Fine. You want to play it like this?
Oh, here we go.
Go. Let's go. I've been waiting for Savage Jane to start making her way out of there.
Ready for me to power lip this putt?
Is this all coming from years of Jane beating up on you in real
Oh
life?
my god.
Yeah, I would say there's just some latent there's some trauma from Jane beating me in every single practice round we play. Oh, Jane.
Gosh.
2 up with 3 to play.
Oh,
Michael Fitzgibbon says you need to spend a few bucks on some decent balls.
I do. I'm running low. Honestly.
And Jane, Ralph Scarinzi has joined, your old caddy. He's on watching you as well.
Ralphie, how is Matt doing?
Literal or figurative balls? I don't know if you want to say that.
Ralph has the cutest husky named Max.
Oh, hey Max.
He is
Now,
adorable.
I'm going to touch on your guys' relationship because we mentioned that you guys have known each other through amateur golf for a really long time. When did you first meet and how did you first meet?
I would say like I knew Jane Park the name before I met her in person, only because when I was 14 or 15, I played a Southern California junior golf tournament, and I had just broken 85 for the first time. I was super stoked about it, and I looked at the leaderboard, and some girl had shot 65. Some girl had beat me by 20 shots on my best day, and that just happened to be Jane Park. So that was the first time I knew of who she was. But yeah, we probably met, I don't know, when did we meet, Jane?
I don't know. I feel like our first encounter that I remember, and this was years ago, so I think it's kind of hard to remember all the details, but you were recruiting me to go to UCLA at, I think, the US Girls Junior that was being played in Texas.
Oh, that's when I brought over the Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
Yeah. You
Did-
bring me ice cream, it's a done deal. I will do anything you want.
She's so
Solid recruitment technique.
Yeah. If you bring me ice cream, it's done. I will get in a van with you and go anywhere.
I think in the locker rooms they had like a freezer full of ice cream, and I brought over 2 of them, and I was like, let's talk about UCLA. And I like all but sat in her lap and gave her a lap dance, pretty much, to be honest.
Pretty much.
And it worked because you ended up going to UCLA together.
Yes, we did. In your face, Tiff.
I'm glad something's happening. You're 2 down.
Come on.
Here
Come on.
we go.
Wow. Jane, you're like sneaky getting better. I'm getting a little concerned. Just gonna start playing hockey on this one.
Oh, Tiff. You know, I really have to say the graphics on this game are incredible.
Yeah, they really
They are.
Yeah. I haven't played Pinehurst, but Jane, you have, and would you say like the slopes and everything are pretty on point?
Very on point. I mean, the trees, the bunkering, everything.
So I'm putting for bogey. Are you gonna give me this, or are you gonna just keep
No.
watching me just hack it around the screen?
I just want to watch this little
The
back.
scene has been set for no gimmies. Is this reminiscent of life on tour?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. I tell her to mark her 6-inch putts. You just never know what's going to happen. All right, here we go.
I think when we were on our conference call yesterday, they were saying that these greens have been laser mapped, so they're really accurate to real life on what they're all about. So
I love it. I love how realistic this is.
I do also love how our avatars look nothing like us. Like yours has red hair. I think mine has like silver hair or something. Like
For right. Oh no.
2 holes to play. Just one
Proud
down,
of you,
Jay.
Jane. Clawing it back.
The pressure's getting to me.
All right, speaking of life on tour, what is the funniest moment that you've had in it's been 9 years now?
ooh, man.
Tim, you've been on tour, what, 11 years?
No, this is my
11.
10th year. I just hit double digits.
Just a double digits.
I feel so old. All the younger Koreans are starting to bow to me.
Yeah, we don't have to bow to anyone anymore. That's kind of sad.
We're the oldest ones. I think the other day, not the other day, like a few years ago when Missy Elliott did the halftime show at the Super Bowl, I think I remember one of the younger rookies came up and said something along the lines of, "Oh wow, that Missy Elliott killed it. When is she coming out with her first album?" And I was
Oh
like,
no.
"Oh, girl."
I've wanted to slap young kids for saying that, but
Like, Missy Elliott is a legend. She is the OG.
she is the OG.
All right, so 10 years. What are some of the funny highlights that you've had?
Oh man, too many to think. I feel like a lot of the stories just kind of revolve around, mishaps in travel, which Henni, I'm sure you're very aware of.
Yep. Had a few of those myself.
I think one of my most unfortunate moments was during the Hawaii tournament. I obviously rented a car and I went surfing at a nearby break. And the key fob, you can't get it wet, so I buried it in the sand and tried to mark it with a shell. And then I got out of the water and just realized there's a million shells on the beach and couldn't remember which one I marked it with. So thankfully the locals there are so nice. Like one of them helped me look for my keys for probably 4.5 hours, and then he got a friend of his to bring a metal detector, and we ended up finding them. But
Oh wow, that's an effort.
Not my smartest moment on tour, but I do have a funny story about Jane when she was in college. Her and another girl on our team, Amy Cochran, went down to the gym of the hotel, and in the elevator on the way back up, they were super hyper and were jumping up and down in the elevator, and the emergency latch clicked, so it kind of stopped in between 2 floors. So I just remember our coach is laying on the ground yelling at them if they have to like pay to bring the elevator maintenance guy here to pay for everything, like I'm gonna take that out of your per diem. And I guess later on, although the hotel did end up having to pay for the maintenance guy, later on they were looking at the camera footage, and the front desk lady said that at first Jane and Amy were like yelling at each other and then crying, and then like they actually found them like cuddled together napping on the floor of the elevator, and the front desk person thought it was so funny. She was like, don't even worry about the charges.
We were in there for 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
And they had to call the fire department. And I think they left us in there for about an hour because they were just so entertained by watching us. So, I mean, we deserved it. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh, man.
We'd never,
That's yeah, horror story.
it wasn't.
I can't even imagine being trapped in an elevator. Okay, we have another question come in. This one is for Karen. We're all talking about stories on tour, but the most experienced and by far the best golfer of all of us, major winner here in our presence, Karen Stupples. Susie Swanson on Facebook has asked, when are you going to compete, Karen? When's it happening? Is it going to happen?
Well, a big question is what if I'm going to compete on WGT or if I'm going to compete properly. I don't know. WGT I'm probably going to play a lot of now because I'm well and truly hooked.
You
But
have. You were practicing today.
I was. I actually played Royal St. George's this morning, and of course I've actually never played in real life, even though I grew up just over the other side of the out of bounds fence from it.
Which is crazy.
I know, totally crazy, but I decided to give it a whirl, and it's a lot of fun. And what I've decided is that the better upgrades you can get with your equipment, the better off you're going to be. Because I really enjoyed the extra 40 yards I got out of an upgraded driver. We're talking about distance.
There we go.
Yeah, but I think I typically try and play a tournament every year. Last year I played the senior LPGA championship. The year before I played in Portland, and the year before that I played at ShopRite. I don't know about this year. Obviously, everything's so up in the air with the way things are. I think I'd just be happy just to hit some balls, to be honest with you.
I don't think anyone's playing golf this year.
We are
Hey,
right now.
hell of a year. Speaking of which, Tiff, you are, I've nearly called you Cup of Joe there because of your screen username. Cup of Joe, you are 1 up going down the final hole. Jane in a bit of trouble here. This is tough. We've seen you from a bunker before.
Oh my God. Tiff, can you mark your ball, please?
Do you want me to move it like 6 to the right, or?
Oh.
I don't want any like backstopping accusations, but it is match play, so I think we're okay.
Okay, let's see. This is going to be a disaster, guys. Just letting you know.
What's ironic is around the greens, Jane is one of the best on tour in real life, not in this game.
This is pathetic.
All right, what's your best tip for playing the chip shots around the greens on this game?
I think you really have to pay attention to like there's a little number on the bottom right that'll tell you basically how much of a percentage like the lie creates. So if you're in the rough, it might be like, oh, it'll go 30 or 40% shorter. So I think it's really important to pay attention to things like that.
I think you just cry and just proceed.
Let's hope for the best.
It's trial and error. I honestly haven't figured it out yet. So
I'm a little nervous for you here, Jane.
Well, I've been noticing Jane been using that preview putt quite a bit, and it's almost like cheating because it gives her a little bit of an advantage.
Oh, for me, yeah, I'm using like a little preview putt, and it only gives you one try though, so it kind of gives you like a general read, but oh.
you know what? I'll concede that putt.
Thanks, I was just waiting. I was taking my time.
Congratulations, Tiff.
Good match. I feel like I can actually.
I feel like this was a respectable finish for me because you've whooped my butt like 5 up.
Yeah,
before.
this morning I think I beat Jane like 4-3. So
Well, there it is. The winner of the inaugural LPGA eTour on WGT is Tiffany Joh, handing down to Karen to do the winner's interview.
Well, Tiffany, many congratulations on your victory today over Jane. It was a hard-fought match, and quite frankly, you were just a little bit quicker and more accurate on that line button when it comes to hitting the shots into the green. And your short game was really impressive. What does this victory mean to you?
Oh man, it means everything. First of all, I just still like to thank everyone that supported me. My parents. Jane Park was just such a great competitor, and I really felt like it was a hard fought match. I think it was a lot closer than the score looked. But yeah, I'm just so excited. I would probably say this is the highlight of my athletic career. I'm probably gonna have to try and get on my Wikipedia page and start updating some of my bio information, just because this was just such a paramount moment in my career.
Don't worry, I already did that.
Well, I'd like to thank Topgolf for my part for sponsoring this event. And now First Tee of San Diego are going to be a little bit better off. And so congratulations to them. And well done, Tiff, for doing that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We had fun today. We raised money for charity. There was a winner. We know that expired V8 may or may not help you to be a champion on WGT. I'm sure that you're going to spend your winnings in maybe some upgrades, some club upgrades, an outfit upgrade that should be done.
Not that my outfit needs to be upgraded. I feel
just,
like I was looking pretty hot out there.
just a little suggestion. I don't know, it's fine or not, whatever you feel like. A couple more questions before we finish up. In terms of missing competition, has this got your competitive juices flowing again?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it gave me a little confidence for the next 9-hole practice round match I play against Jane, because currently my record in real life golf is probably like five and like no one win and maybe five losses. So
That is not true. That is not true. I think this is a great way just to, even though we're not really actually playing golf, but it's really a skill that you can practice and play against your friends. So, I've played against Tiff. Hopefully I can get some of the other girls to get on here and, we can all do kind of a golf match every now and then if we feel bored, which is pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, yeah, let's try to get better at this, because I'm pretty sure you can win money by being good at this, right? Or was that because I saw a leaderboard and there was money involved in it. So I think that's why Pete was so adamant about getting better.
there
I'm
is like a really cool interactive element with like other like members that you may or may not know. I mean, obviously you could play against your friends, but it looked like there were all kinds of tournaments and like little brackets and like I actually just logged on and played a one hole kind of like a horse race match with another random person I didn't know, and it was really fun.
Didn't you
yeah,
say someone was really good and shooting 4 or 5 under par during rounds? Or
Probably. I mean, there are people that are definitely better at like this kind of game type thing than I am, and definitely you are. But yeah, I think there's definitely some really good golfers out there in this game.
100%. We have one final question. Something many people may not know is that Tiff is not just famous for her jokes and more prominently her golf game, but for her music videos
Mhm.
that are usually shot in a onesie with other LPGA Tour players. Rich Schoenfield from Facebook has asked if you'll be coming out with any more music videos during this period of lockdown, Tiff.
Um, Probably. If I get bored enough, I'll definitely go in that direction. It's funny, like you own one onesie and it's normal, but you own 14 onesies and suddenly you're kind of weird. So, yeah, I don't know if the onesies will be making an appearance just because people are starting to ask questions. But yeah, I think we could look forward to a couple videos during this lockdown period.
I like it. Perhaps a Jane cameo. Karen, what can we expect from you in the coming week or two? Obviously, no masters, but are we going to see a little bit more baking, a little bit more gardening going on?
Actually, Jerry and I are planning on doing a little par 3 course around the pond in the back garden. I think the longest hole is going to be maybe about 115 yards, and then most of them are going to be right around that sort of 60-yard region. So we're going to put a few holes out there and try a hand at a little bit of short game stuff.
I love it. Well, I'm sure that everyone will stay tuned across social channels. Thank you so much, everyone who watched, who asked questions, who participated. We've had so much fun. We hope that you enjoyed it as well. Stay tuned for more details on a few more LPGA eTour on WGTs. And in the meantime, stay safe and work on your WGT games, because you know that we all will. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks.